Christina here with your Divine Love reading for the solstice and new moon energies. This is a big turning point reading is what my guides told me about what the overall theme is for this. So even though the weekly video was only kind of that short term, the next few days, I feel like this is giving us a much bigger picture of what's going on. And, you know, I'm going to have the regular weekly up on Sunday. So this reading is, like I said, this is about the turning points, the way the solstices mark the major turning points of the year, but also with this new moon right on the heels of the solstice. This really is about new beginnings and big energy shifting. And what they're really telling me is becoming. What is becoming? What is becoming? So we're going to start off. We've got what is transforming for each partner, what is transforming in the energy between the partners, a couple guidance cards for how to walk the new path that's being illuminated before us, and we're going to close off with a Bowie card. I'm excited. I love when David Bowie decides that he wants to show up and start giving us guidance. So that actually comes out of if some of you know me well, this comes from a set of postcards. I love reading stuff that isn't even meant to be an oracle. So here is David Bowie deciding that he has messages for each of us individually. This will be a week or the next, actually they're telling me in the next month or so, but probably for most of you it'll be in the next week, the next few days. Pay attention where David Bowie shows up because he's got stuff to say. All right, let's get underway. Messages for those of us who are interacting with this video. So this is what, basically each position has two cards. There is the what has been, like the energy that we've been kind of trudging through for a while, and what is becoming. So what the solstice, what the new moon is supporting us in terms of turning, becoming, transforming. So, and you will see a theme here. On our side, the path that has been being walked is the Five of Pentacles, and this is it's that sadness and loss and feeling dejected and, you know, kind of being in the cold and in the woods. And you know, in the northern hemisphere, obviously winter time was directly related to that. And it was like that dark time of the year where we've been gradually walking forward and forward and forward toward greater light. What I think is ironic is that what it's turning into, what the turning point is turning toward, is the moon. Which is it's an interesting card to have that transform. Is like, even though we're moving toward the light, it's such a gentle light. It is a night light. If you are in the southern hemisphere, obviously this makes sense, but this is really about those of us on our side coming out, coming out of that feeling of just despair, you know, like, oh, this is never going to turn. Oh, what is, you know, just the sadness and discomfort that is being apart from your partner. And really embracing, no, I have inner knowing, I have deep knowing about this. I have deep knowing about our connection. I can feel this person in energy. I interact with this person in energy. And especially, and I feel like this has been the case for quite a few of you, like they're showing me a very large chunk, like over 50%, that a lot of you have probably had dreams, like dream time meditation interactions with your partner, and this card is reminding you, like, wow, you can trust that, because what you noticed about it was that it was different. They weren't merely showing up to you, but they were showing up to you in energy differently than they ever had before. So that's what's transforming on our side. For our counterparts, this is where they've been going, or where they've been. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we have the Page of Wands, and you see how she has this wand. She has this magic tool. Okay. Wands are spirituality. It's fire. It's creation. And she knows that she has it, and yet she is a page, and because she's new, or because the wand is new to her, she's reluctant to use it. You know, it's like your partners have all been like going, well, I know I've got all the tools I need, but I don't, you know, like sorry, I didn't mean to do doofy voice. But they're like, oh, I know I have this tool, but I don't want to use it, like, because using it means that transformation happens. And for a lot of people, they've been so, you know, it's the pain, the devil, you know, they've been so used to like life just being heavy and being whatever, you know, whatever it has been for them, like their fear, their hang-ups, whatever their blocks are, they've gotten so used to having those that the idea of like, wait, you mean there can be liberation here? That's frightening, you know? So that's where they've been, is in that reluctance to use all of the tools and resources that are available to them, because they feel like, well, I'm not ready, I'm not qualified. Okay. And what it's transforming into for them is the Queen of Cups. And you know, if you have partners who have been terrified of their emotions, terrified of their own intuition, they actually really embrace this. And even though she's a queen, it really doesn't matter if your counterpart is male or female. This is about the feminine embracing, and not just embracing, but also the expression of, okay, this is how I am to be. You know, so the way they're giving it to me is the reason why it's being shown as, and like I said, it doesn't matter if you're male or if your counterpart is male or female. The reason they're showing it as the queen has more to do with the ways that emotions and intuition and the subconscious and all of those, you know, watery things always get attributed to the feminine, in ways that people just don't think about it. It's like as if it's the natural order of things, but as we know, meaning is a human construct. Like no matter which way we're assigning stuff, this is human constructs, which is why change and transformation are possible, because we can always rewire things. So this, for them, to come into this is for their embrace and expression of their intuition and emotions is now becoming so comfortable as to seem natural. Okay, that's a big deal. I think, you know, for a lot of you, again, a whole bunch of you, this is a very big deal to get a card like this and a message like that about your partner. So, like, big hugs to you all for that. I can imagine that would be just a really huge relief. Okay, here's where it gets good, even better. All right, so these are the ways the energy is transforming between the partners. Like, what? The energy between the partners is transforming. Okay, so here's what it had been, where everybody had been sitting for a long time. And this is very much the Five of Pentacles again. Okay, so it says lost love, surrender, healing, release. So both partners have been walking through this world, imagining that it's too late. Everything is gone. Everything is lost. And this card, and actually it's not just this card, but the transformation is saying there was a time for people to have released and let go of these relationships, and to have reached the point of, okay, so if this isn't it, if this isn't the thing, if I've mistaken, or if our energy and willpower, free will choices have changed, I have to be okay with letting this go, because that brings you back to your own, what do you call it, like your own centered individual strength, you know, where you stand on your own ground, on your own 2 feet. So that's where this has been, and what I think is really awesome about this, I'm going to show these to you side by side, is again, we have moon now coming into sunlight, so darkness coming into light, and look at what this is turning into, thinking of you, a loving thought, serendipity. So be on the lookout. You know, the universe is now conspiring to bring things into, like I said, for those of you in the southern hemisphere, bringing things into the light. But this this kind of thinking of each other had been about releasing and letting go and kind of the saying goodbye and having some grief over that. And to be perfectly honest, everybody did need to say goodbye, and everyone is saying goodbye to former previous versions of themselves because transformation has occurred. Okay, so there is a real saying goodbye and grieving of lost versions of ourselves. Okay. And now, but this is turning into, like, again, people being in each other's thoughts, meeting in energy. The other person, like each of you is now thinking of each other in ways that is much more, well, how can we do this? Maybe this isn't lost. Maybe it's not too late. And because energy has now shifted and people are letting go of the things, like those prideful things that have kept each other apart. Okay, I think it feels gorgeous. It feels like a huge relief. I hope that I feel like in some ways it's like, it seems pretty obvious, right? I mean, this is great. Okay, now, I pulled a couple of Brian Eno cards. This is very Bowie time. So Brian Eno was one of David Bowie's collaborators, and so this comes from a deck called Oblique Strategies, and here's the lid. And they are these very minimalistic cards, but they're just like these little idea generators for creative people doing creative work. So to try to get them unstuck and out of like kind of stuck spots. And so because this is supposed to be a turning point and about movement, I think it's so interesting. I just thought, they just wanted to come out. And so there's two cards. The first one is only a part, not the whole. And the other one is use unqualified people. Here is, and they want me to show you the Bowie card now. So this is David Bowie in 1966. And I think this is so great. Look at him. Of all of David Bowie's iconic looks, this is not among them, okay? When you think of David Bowie, I'm sure that probably a bunch of you who have any like real knowledge or, an affinity for David Bowie probably saw this and went, what? And that's where this comes in. This only a part, not the whole. This whole time of, lost love, feeling like love has been lost, feeling out in the cold, that's only been a part of the story. It has been the chapter that we're not in together, right? And what is turning is, it's like, okay, so now we have to read, we actually are turning the page on that chapter and starting a new chapter, because there's a bigger story here. There's a much longer story here, and this chapter is coming to a close. So this is only a part of his career, but certainly, in a retrospective, especially after he passed last year, it's like, this was not the image that was plastered everywhere, right? So this is only a part of the story, not the whole thing. This time of having felt in the cold, lost, has been only a part of the story, not the whole thing. Something new is coming in. The serendipity of this is the universe picking up our energy and seeing that we are, in fact, open to receiving everything that we know, that we are open now to receiving what we had lost hope in. Okay, so that does it for this week's reading. The special is still going on, details down below, and one more thing about David Bowie, he does have messages for, like, individualized messages for everybody this week, so pay attention to where he pops up for you, and definitely let me know how it goes, because I'm always curious the way David Bowie will pop up when he's deciding to intervene. Okay? All right. Take care, everyone. See you in a couple days. Bye. Oh my God, I totally forgot to read the other card. Use unqualified people. I was like, there was something in here about opening our arms and embracing, and it is the unqualified people. This is about... God, I feel like such an idiot. The parts of us that have felt like, oh, I've been in the cold, I've lost hope, you know, all that stuff. It is this, the key word here is unqualified. So when it's not like we should go off and put our trust in like people who are like, I don't know if that, they seem kind of shady. It's not that. It is actually to stop using qualifiers on things. So when you get a message that says, hooray, everything's coming your way, they want you, and the next words out of your mouth should not be, yeah, but, okay, so no buts. It's, okay, I am ready to receive this. I am ready to have all of this start to come in, with no qualifications, not only if, like, we're not going to say only if this, if they do that, if I do this, only when I'm whatever. The time for feeling like there's more transformation to be done is done. It's now time to start walking together again. Okay, that's what's happening here. So now that is the end of the reading. Okay, have a good one. I will see you soon. Bye-bye.